Hello everyone. My name is Blue, and today I'm going to be redesigning my old OCs from 2020 and 2021 into Pokemon trainers. Now, don't worry if you don't know a lot about the games. I'm not going to get too much into that, but I will focus on the designs and maybe what kind of teams that they would have. And as a quick introduction, here are the characters I'll be fixing: Delilah, Quinn, and Felicity. I originally created these characters for a story, but at some point I stopped drawing them and the story just fell through. But somewhere in that time when I was still drawing them, I made a Pokemon AU, and instead of throwing away these characters, I just decided to make them Pokemon trainers permanently. Alright, enough talking, let's get into the designs. Okay, we're starting with the character I designed first, Delilah. And I actually designed her in Gacha Life, which is, there's nothing wrong with using Gacha. I've seen cool things come out of it actually, but it has a younger audience, so it definitely has a reputation of being cringy. I only played the games in like 2017 to 2018. I was just testing the new one that had come out at the time when I was making her design. So her original design isn't bad. It changed very minimally throughout the time where I was still drawing her, like just some details on her socks or maybe the clasp thingy that detached her jacket. But my biggest critique about it is that the hair color is very similar to the colors on the rest of her outfit, which I personally wouldn't do anymore. I would probably use it more as an accent color while having a different shade of that same color, like lighter or darker, as a main color on the rest of the outfit. But hey, I'm no expert. I changed her design a lot. I only kept the dress and the jacket, but I removed the sleeves from the jacket to make it more of a vest so not all three of the characters would have the same silhouette of long puffy sleeves. I changed the teal part in her hair just to be her bangs because most of the human characters in Pokemon don't have gradient style hair colors. And for the rest of the outfit, I decided to completely get rid of the color gray because my main inspiration was Team Skull. Now, an explanation if you don't know, every Pokemon game basically has an evil team, and for Pokemon Sun and Moon, where these characters are going to be set in, this evil team is basically trying to stop you from your main objective of beating the game, basically. And I've always been toying with the idea of making Delilah kind of a bad guy since I created her. And so, because Team Skull is one of the lesser evil teams from all the games because, you know, they're not trying to destroy the world, I decided to put her on Team Skull while also trying to hide that fact from her friends. Which basically means she's on the protagonist side and the antagonist side at the same time, which makes her a terrible villain, and I think that's hilarious. One thing I wanted to keep in mind when designing her is that all Team Skull characters have wristbands, zigzag patterns, and an X somewhere on their design. And I'm not trying to make her look stronger than any other Team Skull character. She would probably be on the same level as any other Team Skull grunt, I just wanted her to look more unique. And for her Pokemon, I'd give her a shiny Poplio, because it's funny that she has a rare Pokemon, a Fomantis, and an Alolan Rattata. Now on to Quinn. I feel like her original design, you can definitely see the influence from like 2020 to 2021 alt fashion, just with lighter colors. Like the goggles, the belt around the sweatshirt, the big chunky platform boots. If you were on TikTok in 2020 to 2021, you would know. I changed the goggles into a headband and glasses, and I just got rid of the belt entirely. And I gave her like leg warmers over her shoes because I've been kind of obsessed with that look recently. Their personality has always been kind of the angsty, traumatized one because what is an OC without tons of trauma, right? But now she's mostly just like the monotone type of character, and it's a lot less angsty now because this is Pokemon. I will say there are some sadder stories in Pokemon, but we're not getting into that right now. Their redesign definitely came to me the easiest. I was just doodling at some point and I immediately came up with something that I fell in love with. One thing though is that I got rid of that dark pink color, and I honestly feel like I could have found a spot to put it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll go back one day and change it, but I think I'm fine with this. And if you're looking at their sweatshirt right now and wondering, how the hell is that staying up? It's literally all the way off their shoulders. This is Pokemon logic. Gravity doesn't have to work all the time, it's fine. They used to be the main character in the original story, but I feel like I'd have to work on their personality again some more if I wanted that to still be the same. But maybe I don't really need like a main character out of the three, they can just share the role, I guess. And for their Pokemon, I think they would have a Litten and a Rockruff that would eventually evolve into a Dusk form Lycanroc. I could have come up with more Pokemon to add to their team, and I'm sure they'd have more, I just didn't, so I'll think of it eventually. And for our last design, we're doing Felicity. Her design is definitely the one that changed the most in my opinion. In the original story, she was a ghost, like a literal ghost. She was dead. Yeah, she was a ghost and like only Quinn and Delilah could see her, I think. But in here, she is alive now. She's alive, but I made her strictly a ghost type Pokemon trainer. I changed her hair completely into these like twin braids with like a jellyfish haircut style, if you know what I'm talking about. I feel like I see the space bun like Afro puff type hairstyles a lot, and don't get me wrong, I still really like that hairstyle. I just wanted something a bit more unique, especially since Pokemon hairstyles are usually like very creative. I definitely struggled the most with her design. Trying to find a balance between cheerful and excited type personality and like a person who specializes in ghost types was difficult to say the least. Until one day I was doodling with like crayons or something and I came up with this, which I liked. Obviously it's kind of hard to tell what you're looking at, it was made with crayons. The only thing I wanted to change was the pattern on the skirt because that was just kind of a placeholder. And that looked too much like cow print and hey, I'm trying to get away from 2020 fashion. Another thing is, I wasn't feeling the monochromatic blue because the other two had multiple colors in their designs. So I decided to add purple because, you know, ghost types purple, that's kind of their thing. Also with her hair, I added like a strand that kind of goes in front of her face to like give like a creepy, you know, ghostly vibe. But I don't know, I think on this drawing specifically it looks off. I think I drew her outside of this and it looked better, but just ignore it looks better in other drawings, I swear. And for her Pokemon team, I gave her a Rowlet, which isn't a ghost type but evolves into one, and a Mimikyu. I was also thinking of something like Litwick, but I am undecided. Again, I would have come up with more, but I didn't, so to be determined, I guess. And here's just one last drawing of the three of them, just to like, you know, show off their personalities, show them interacting with their Pokemon and stuff. I feel like Quinn would have very similar personalities to their Litten, and same with Delilah and her Poplio. And originally when I made the Pokemon AU back then, I made it that Felicity's Rowlet got startled easily because she was a ghost. And I still think that's funny, so we're keeping that. But yeah, as you can see, Felicity and Delilah are a lot more excitable, and Quinn is definitely very chill, and I think that's like a funny dynamic, I like it. I'm sure if there was a story, I'd basically make it the same plot as Pokemon Sun and Moon. Player character, or Quinn in this case, moving to Alola to defeat the Island Challenge. Of course, being joined by Felicity and Delilah at some point early on. And then a whole subplot of Delilah trying to hide the fact that she's a part of Team Skull. Yeah, it'd be something lighthearted and comedic like the Pokemon cartoon. You know, I'm glad that I redesigned them and gave them a second chance and a new life. They definitely deserve it after I abandoned them for so long. And if you're still watching at this point, I really appreciate it. This is my first YouTube video, so I've never done anything like this. I've never edited a video, and it's different, it's fun, I enjoy it. I've got some more plans, some more cool video ideas, more like redesigns or art challenges and stuff. So yeah, if you're interested, maybe I'll make some more stuff like that. It'll be fun. Stick around if you want, I don't know. But yeah, those are my characters. I really like them, and I hope you do too. And if you don't, well, don't tell me, because I don't want to know. Well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Go like, subscribe, comment, whatever YouTubers usually tell you to do. Go follow my Instagram, and see you. Goodbye. Bye-bye-bye.